And this is what the bump looks like. This is with food in the belly. Still get surprise looks from everybody when I tell them that I'm pregnant, so that's really interesting. Nobody really believes me. I went to Colorado. I went to Colorado Springs. Went to a shop and I was like getting like baby stuff, and I don't even know, the shop owner, I think I was just saying something like, I mean, when my kid arrives, basically, she was like, "Did you just say that you're pregnant?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm like almost 7 months pregnant." She goes, "Bitch, what?" She like gave me a good look up and down. And I was like, "Yep, there is a child in there that's been in there for about 7 months now." I just went to the dentist too, and he was just like not having it, which I'm not surprised because I hate the dentist, but it actually was not so bad today. But yeah, so the reason why I put all these Q&As together, these lives every week, is just to have a chance to connect with everybody, especially those I haven't spoken to in a long time. I'm also in the middle of, I'm also in the middle of taking Life and Success Coach certification along with NLP and hypnotherapy. So I will be offering NLP and hypnotherapy sessions soon. I'll be certified by the first week of November, which I'm really excited about. And then I'm also taking a course to finish my 500-hour. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining. So by the end of the year, I will hopefully be fully into my coaching business and coaching spirituality and yoga. So if you guys are interested, please let me know. Send me a DM. I'm also looking for guinea pigs as well. So if you guys have some subconscious self-sabotage that you know that you have and want to get on top of, up out of there, please let me know. I am searching for some guinea pigs as far as NLP and hypnotherapy clients go. Yeah, so this whole entire live Q&A is just a means for me to connect with you for free outside of my coaching programs. And if you guys have any questions about anything, life, coaching, spirituality, he's kicking a lot. Baby stuff, friends, COVID, how we're dealing with it. You know, I think it's important for everybody to kind of still find ways to connect in that way. I personally, Lydia, my love, welcome. Hi, boo. I'm just going over like what this live Q&A is about. So if you have any questions, if you want me to talk about anything, I've just been talking about my trip to Colorado, which was super, super fun. I did take a couple of moments to take photos with baby G. I haven't announced the name yet. But so in Colorado, I got there, and because serendipitously, I had a hit and run car crash on my car here, like right when I was moving at the end of August. And I waited to get it fixed. So I took it to the shop right before I went to Colorado. And then because of that, I got like a free rental car, and I was planning on getting a rental car anyway, but the rental car ended up being completely free, and I got like a souped up, like really, really nice Jeep Cherokee to drive. It was like a 2020. So I got there, picked up the car, immediately drove to Golden, where I was staying with a friend from junior high. She and I have been friends for a really long time. And we went to high school and college together as well. And then I'm living in Austin. Yes. But definitely trying to build a life between Denver and Austin. So once I get my coaching business and everything set up and I feel like secure, I'd like to have a home in Denver as well. Maybe not necessarily just Denver, but maybe like Evergreen or something where I can be closer to the mountains. But after Golden, well, I stayed there for about 6 days, and I just went around the town, and Golden has boomed. Like, it's so different. Still the same, but like there's a lot of differences that I wish that were there when I was in school, because mine's was pretty boring. But there's like a really cool rock shop. I got this moonstone necklace, and I got this ring, and I got some rocks and stuff to add to my crystal collection that I bless on full and new moons, which was super fun. And then I took a trip to Boulder one day, which is about 40 minutes from Denver, 30-ish minutes from Golden, and went to Ebengee Fine Park, where there's like a really awesome creek. I got to meet a friend that I met on Instagram. Oh, the store in Golden is called, I think, Golden Rock Shop. It's awesome. They're super, super like spiritual. They bless the crystals and everything before you take it home with you. Like, they have a tuning fork, and they like attune all of the frequencies for the crystals and any items that you buy at the shop, which is dope. And it's also across the street from this really amazing, it's a food hall, but there's this coffee shop inside of it called Generous Coffee. And they have a pay it forward wall, which is just like a random acts of kindness wall where people pay ahead of time, basically like a gift card for you to use for anyone who is just stopping by. There's like, I put a couple up there, so you can like go and get a discount off of your coffee or get a free coffee or anything like that, which is really, really awesome. And I walked Clear Creek and the creek when I was in Boulder. The water is like 45 degrees. I stuck my feet in, and then immediately my feet were like throbbing with pain. So definitely could not jump in like I would have wanted. Where else did I go? Oh, if you are in Golden, there's this place, this food. It's like Nepalese food. It's Nepalese/Indian food. It's been there since I was in school, but they've expanded so much, and now they have a brewery that they're making, which I'm so excited because like I don't really drink or anything, but like I'm excited for them because they are an amazing family. They do so much philanthropy for mines, which is really, really awesome. But it's called Sherpa House. So freaking good, y'all. Like, I could literally eat that every single day. And then there's also my favorite Thai place in Golden is called Thai Gold, and we got to eat at both places, and both taste exactly the same as it did when I was at Mines, and like you can just tell that there's so much love about that. Yes, I will definitely tell you a little bit more about this spiritual coaching. Colorado is, I mean, I just like went to a bunch of mountain towns. I hit up Boulder and I hit up Fort Collins, went shopping a little bit and hit up my old stomping grounds. I got some baby stuff. Oh my gosh, I'll have to show you guys the baby stuff that I got. I got this like really cute little jumper that says straight out of mommy, like in the straight out of Compton font, which is hilarious, but also like little shoes and socks and so cute stuff. I'm super excited to show you guys. I'll show you after this story. Where else did I go? Oh, I went on a date in Breck. That was super fun. I met this guy on Bumble. Totally did not tell him I was pregnant because I was like, I'm leaving in like 2 days. Like, whatever. I'm probably just not gonna, like, this isn't gonna go anywhere. But I met him on Bumble, and like most of the guys that I've met in the last couple of months are like way more interested in me than I am in them, and that's usually always the case. I'm always like, meh, I don't know, I'm not feeling it. Like, I have a lot of, I don't know if it's a resistance or if I'm just hella picky, but most guys I'm just like, nah, I'm good. I'd rather be single and just be by myself. But this guy that I met on Bumble had really good energy. He felt really safe. I felt bad for not saying that I was pregnant, but at the same time, I was also like, he lives in Breck, and it's whatever. But we went on like a really, really nice walk around Breck. He took me to this like biking trail that was on the creek, which was beautiful. So we took like an hour-long walk or something like that. And then I drove down, like right after that, I drove down to Colorado Springs, and I took I don't know if it was a pass that I drove down, but I took a road that went through South Park and Fairplay, which is hilarious because it's changed so much since the last time I drove through South Park. It's actually like they've redone everything, and it looks really cool. And they have like a whole bunch of like stop and go picture places for like the characters of South Park, which is hilarious. If you guys haven't heard of it, I haven't seen it yet, but I think there's like a pandemic edition of the South Park show, which is like all about coronavirus, which I might actually watch tonight or this weekend or something, because I haven't watched South Park in a really long time, but I do love like how satirical and just like sarcastic they are. So good. And then, yeah, I went to Colorado Springs and saw my friend that I met last year in doTERRA, Sam. She's amazing. I know she just moved there about a month ago, and she just got a puppy. She just got out of a relationship as well, so we kind of bonded on that. And we went on like a 2-mile hike. I don't know where it was called, but you could see where like the Garden of the Gods was or is. And then after that, we went to Manitou Springs and kind of shopped around in the town, which was really nice. Yeah, they broke up. He literally just like, they were like planning a trip. They were literally packing up for a trip to like go somewhere for like a week. And the next day after they packed, he was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, and just like told her to leave and like kicked her out basically. I was like, that's fucked up, yo. Oh my God. And then after Colorado Springs, I drove up to Denver to stay by myself in a hotel and just have some me time. that was basically all I did. But yeah, I know she could use some love, but she's super, super positive and doing all these things. I'm like, hell yes, girl. Yes. I love you, Lydia. So the spiritual coaching. So the program that I'm developing right now is called Sacred and Divine Goddesses, and it is kind of the culmination of all of the spiritual like teaching and education that I have been through, on top of just kind of my own framework. So really like stepping into your goddess energy is equivalent to your true spiritual journey. And what the true spiritual journey is really like understanding who you are. So the self-discovery or self-realization process that you are not your mind. And very few people understand what that means because they're so identified with their mind and with their conditioning and with the stories that they have grown spiritual energy all the time. And one-on-one coaching so that I can have a little bit more audience like feedback and kind of build the course around you. However, there's also group coaching once a week. So last night we had our first virtual sister circle. It'll be every Thursday at 7 p.m. where we just kind of talk to each other within the framework of Sacred and Divine Goddesses. And the framework is, hi, nice to see you. Thank you for joining. It's based upon the idea of having a daily spiritual practice. And in Sanskrit, that word is sadhana. And when we do that, it helps to create a container for us to explore ourself. And by self, I mean that deeper self, not that identity that we tell ourselves that we are, not the stories, not the mind stuff. It's so, so much deeper than that. And the framework that I've developed for sadhana is the 3 M's. So there's mindset, which is, if you imagine like a triangle or like a pyramid, there's mindset at the very bottom. It's the biggest piece of the puzzle because everything stems from your ability to tame your mind. Like if you don't have a mind that's tamed, like your mind runs you. And that is really what we focus on the most with understanding that you're not the mind. So mindset work is number 1. And then we have movement right above it. So it's three blocks. So mindset's at the bottom, movement is in the middle, and that's because we are all energetic beings. So our bodies are, they seem very like solid, right? Like you can touch it, like you can feel things. But if you take a microscope, like the strongest microscope, and put it on your skin and then go deep, deep, deep down into your skin, you'll see that we're all just made of like subatomic particles that are vibrating really, really close together and creates a solid form. However, we are all energy. And so what does energy do? It moves, right? So movement is the second piece of the puzzle, because we can be working with a mind, but then there can be a lot of like stagnant energy in our bodies. And this is where you see a lot of disease, and a lot of chronic illnesses kind of come up into the body, just kind of off the cuff. Like my mom has had a lot of shit happen to her, like growing up, a lot of sexual abuse, a lot of different kinds of traumas that she didn't really tell me until later on in my adulthood. I didn't really find out about any of this stuff until I was like 20. But I do know that she had a really big issue with speaking her truth. And when I was in college, she actually developed thyroid cancer. And the thyroids are just right here, like right where the throat chakra is. And so for me, I immediately correlated that to the stagnant energy that she kept in her throat chakra. Now my mom is very open and communicative and has no issues with her thyroids because she got them removed. But that's just, an example of how the body manifests disease when you have stagnant energy like within it. And my mom wasn't very good at like exercising. She didn't really like take care of herself or eat well or anything like that. So it was really the thing that made me realize that movement is so important for the body to keep the cells fresh and make sure that and the very last piece on the top is maintenance. So it is exactly how it sounds. It's basically the daily habits that you have that help to maintain your frequency. So your goddess frequency, that spiritual frequency, it's that frequency of consciousness. And you'll hear me kind of talk about those things interchangeably. Your goddess energy, your spiritual energy, your conscious energy, they're all the same thing. All it is like who you really are, right? So at the top with the maintenance, it's like your food, your diet, everything that you consume as far as people, food, beverages, media, like what do you do with social media? I personally have all my notifications turned off for social media. Like I only allow myself to go onto it like twice a day. Well, more like 3 times a day. I'll get on it after I meditate and do my morning routine just to check in with everybody. And then I'll check it in the afternoon and then once before I go to bed again. But I don't have any notifications turned on for any of my social media whatsoever. I also make sure not to follow anyone who has like that icky feeling. Like your body is the best antenna for your spiritual practice. Hi, Geeta. My aunt just joined. I'm so excited to see you. Hi. I'm just talking about the spiritual coaching program that I'm doing. So yeah, in that program, we kind of work through all of the framework, mindset, movement, and maintenance, and help you develop a sadhana practice. And then we also have that sister circle so that there's a safe container for you to really practice and talk to other people who are on the same path, because it's really lonely. It's a very, very lonely road to be on a spiritual journey, because you realize how many people are so attached to their story and attached to the idea that they've had about themselves for so long. And the point of the group is to be able to feel seen, validated, and heard, because a lot of the time our ego, which is mind stuff, our ego is attached to our mind. Our ego has a mind of its own. And most of the time, to allow that energy to dissipate, because it is also an energetic body in our field of consciousness, sometimes it just needs to be seen and heard and validated. And like last night, the girls that were on our group were talking about the moments that have happened in this past week in which they were very triggered, in which they felt like they had to avoid a situation. And we allowed ourselves just to feel vulnerable and talk about what was going on. And you can immediately see the ego kind of lessen its strength when it's seen and heard and validated in front of other people. And so that's why I've created a group that does that. Because in my own journey, I've found that sister circles and getting together in groups of people that are like-minded and also very safe spaces helped to catapult my own progress when it comes to healing traumas and all the things, all the conditioning. So yeah, that is what it is all about. The program that I created, it's called Sacred and Defined Goddesses. It's an 8-week program. Right now it's got one-on-one coaching and group coaching. And then it will soon move into just group coaching. And on top of that, when you do one-on-one with me, I'm able to offer you NLP and then clinical hypnotherapy sessions as well. So if you're interested, please DM me about that. There is a link to go ahead and purchase right now. Because it's still being made, everything is on sale. So it's half off right now. It's actually a little bit less than half off. NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. So it is the study of the subconscious mind and is literally a roadmap for how the subconscious mind works. So a lot of our behaviors, our subconscious mind controls. So when we're actually conscious, that only takes up about 3% of our attention and 3% of our brain use. And the other, 97 to 98%, is all done and performed by the subconscious mind. And that's why you'll find yourself in patterns such as, for instance, if you're a smoker, and you find it really, really, really hard to smoke, it's because your subconscious mind has developed neural pathways that make it feel good. And so it will always seek, even if you quit smoking, it's going to seek another addiction because it's so used to and so comfortable with the addictive qualities of nicotine or whatever, drug of choice it decides to take if you try to quit. And that's why there are a lot of people who try to smoke, quit smoking and can't because the subconscious mind takes over about 97% of the brain during your waking hours, and then it's also working while you are asleep. So in NLP, when we do a session, we deep dive into the subconscious mind. We basically you can do subconscious reprogramming on your own through affirmations, through therapy and other modalities, but NLP goes straight to the root. So we basically use different techniques to get into your subconscious mind and try to find the root cause of whatever issue that keeps coming up for you. And then similarly, we do the same thing in hypnotherapy as well. Hypnotherapy is a way to not only look at what's going on in the subconscious mind and bring awareness to it, because 90% of healing is awareness, but also the hypnotherapy sessions allow us to implant, kind of like Inception, a more favorable behavior. So if you're looking at trying to change a habit, it's not going to work just by doing it and deciding you're going to do it. Like, your subconscious was created between the ages of 0 to 7 years old. And that, from those ages, 0 to 7 years old, are the years that your subconscious mind. Sorry, my dog's outside the door. Hey, leave it. So from 0 to 7, your subconscious mind is still forming. It's very malleable at that point. But by the time you hit your preteens, like, your subconscious mind is done with the initial conditioning. Like, from 0 to 7, you're basically in theta state, which is like the hypnotic state where you're just absorbing information. And that's why in hypnosis, we go back into that 0 to 7-year-old mind and kind of start like moving things around, reframing the way that you view the world, because your subconscious mind is your perception. They're your goggles for the way that you view life, basically. And a lot of the time when we're trying to make a big change or have a big transformation in our life, especially when it comes to spirituality is like the all-encompassing everything. Like, you can make changes to anything you want, but spirituality is like the complete root of everything. But yeah, so it's really just like the study of the subconscious mind and how to reprogram it, and using different techniques to get to the bottom of what, like, why you do the things that you do. Like, for me, what I have used NLP for in the past has been my money story. I had like a very, very deeply rooted money story around having to work hard to make money. And I went through probably 2 different NLP sessions where I recalled and found like, oh yeah, like, my parents really like fought about money a lot when I was a baby. My dad was very controlling about money. And they all believe, because my family is, I'm the first American born in my whole family, so my whole family is first gen. So their mindset that they have about money is like, you have to bust your ass to make money. And they still, my parents are both still very much workhorses. Like, my mom is a nurse at a hospital and is, she's a manager, but she works all day, every day. My dad does the same thing. Like, he wakes up at like 5 a.m. and works till 7 p.m. And anytime I talk to them about money, they're always like, you need to get a job, like, you need to have benefits, blah, blah, blah. Like, you need security and safety. And when I was going through NLP for myself, I had to really unblock those messages. So now when I talk to my parents, it doesn't trigger me when they try to suggest like what I should be doing, basically, because to be truthfully, like, completely honest and candid about, the way that I view money now, like, last year I still was holding on to all that conditioning, and now this year, like, I don't work that much. Like, I work maybe 4 hours a day maximum, and I've made way more money than I have in the last 2 to 3 years, busting my ass for people and not feeling valued. And to me, that freedom is so much more valuable than whatever like salary or medical benefits that you can get. Like I've never, like I went to Mines, which is an engineering school, and they all, like from the very beginning, when you go into the school, they're like, once you graduate, like you're guaranteed a $60,000 salary, and then you can move up and blah blah blah. But what they don't tell you is that you have to like sell your soul to the industry. Like I graduated with an applied math and computer science degree, and I was like, okay, cool. Like it's a foundational degree. Like if I ever want to like go back to school, I can. Or if I ever want to like go back to like my degree, it's a very basic degree so that I can like get a job in any industry if I want. But what they didn't tell me at the end was like, if you really want to get a job in math and computer science, like you have to be either a coder, which they don't see the light of day. Most of them are very awkward. I've met very cool coders, so there are definitely exceptions, but like they're not social. Second was like an actuarial scientist, so they basically like develop formulas for like banks, literally anything that like deals with money. So like banks, the stock market, anything. So they are actuaries. They basically just like create formulas to see what the risk is, and they don't see the light of day. Hi. And then also, or you could go back and become like a research, like, what's it called? Like go get your PhD or your master's and like become a professor. And I was like, I don't want to do any of those things. That sounds horrible. So, so I've been really working hard as far as deconditioning my subconscious mind, and NLP helped me so much. I feel blessed that the group that I'm in is very willing to help each other, and you know we're all learning the same thing. We're all learning NLP and hypnosis and EFT and time techniques and a couple of other techniques as well. But NLP and hypnosis have been amazing. I literally fall asleep every time, but then I wake up and I'm just like, hey, like I'm a completely different person, and you don't realize it until like maybe a couple of weeks later, and then you're like, oh wow, like this situation that happened, like for instance, like my parents said something about me having to do something and like making me feel like I am not doing something right with money or like not taking care of myself. Like I don't get triggered by them anymore. I'm just kind of like, I see that you're concerned for me. I really appreciate it, and I'm so glad that you're in my life. And instead of being like, well, fuck you then, I don't listen to you. It has helped a lot of my internal sassiness go away and really see where people are coming from, which is typically that 0 to 7-year-old self, that child self, anytime they come to you with criticisms. So yeah, NLP and hypnotherapy are amazing. So if you want to work with me, you can do that in one-on-ones. You can go ahead and sign up for the Sacred Endless Collective on my link in bio. And once you get into that, we will go and plan our one-on-ones, and then you get access to 8 weeks of virtual sisterhood circles every Thursday, and get to meet some really awesome ladies. It is only open to women. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not going to put you on live, but thank you so much for being here. Yeah, if you guys have any other questions, please feel free to ask. I think that, I was going to show the baby stuff that I got. So give me 1 second, I'll be right back. I got some baby clothes and some baby shoes so you guys can see. Okay, yeah, so I've got some really cute stuff. I'll show you. Okay, so for the off chance that Baby G is a preemie. This is like a little preemie jumper. It's so cute. Ah. And then I got him, I went to like a maternity like consignment store for some of this stuff because I was like not feeling the clothes that I bought. I was like, I feel like all the clothes that I bought are very constricting. So I've got this little baby newborn jumper. That one's cute. Yes, feel free to ask me any questions. You can use the comment or the question box down below, and I'll answer any of the questions or at least have that conversation started with you. And then I also, oh my gosh, y'all, this one is fucking hilarious. It's so good. I don't know if you guys like rap music, but this one is so cute. These onesies. Yes, the onesies. This one, it says it's 12 months, but it's actually, I feel like it's pretty big for a 12 month old, but we'll see. Yeah, anyway. And then I also got these little teeny tiny shoes. Oh my god. I can't. They're so stinking cute. Well, it's not fair. Like, doesn't make any sense. Apparently, I found out that once they hit 25 weeks, 23 weeks, they can, if you go into preterm labor, oh my gosh, so cute. Got these little newborn socks. But after 23 weeks, you can like go into preterm labor and like the baby can live on its own outside of you. I was like, what? I'm learning so many things. That's crazy. And then I found him his little binky blanket as well in Fort Collins. Just a little fox and deer. I got it because I've been seeing a lot of deer lately, especially like the little teenage deer without antlers. For some reason, that's been popping up in my energetic field the last couple of weeks since September. Weird stuff. But yeah, that's what I got for baby boy. He's so active. I went to the dentist and he was kicking like the whole entire time. The dentist was like, "Are you okay?" Like, I'm fine. This kid is just fucking karate chopping my bladder. It's no big deal though. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so that's pretty much me in a nutshell this week. That's what I've done. What I'm working on right now. I'm just kind of like studying and doing my material for all of my courses. Hello, welcome. Thank you. Oh, you're so sweet. I'm excited. Yeah, there's been a lot of doubt, and I think that it kind of fell away after going to Colorado. I was like, you know what? Bump that noise, bump that subconscious mind shit. Like, I am fully capable of being a mom, especially a single mom. Who is, well, I mean, I'm telling you, there have been so many women that I talk to, and they're just like, oh my gosh, that's so hard. Like, you're so strong to be doing it on your own, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, like, that is some subconscious programming that you have that women need a man to be able to do anything. I'm like, no. Men need us, yo. It's literally like their job is to plant seeds and procreate, but they cannot do that without women. And that's how I feel about it. Like, I have been with this guy's dad. He and I were together for like, I guess 4.5 years. It's like 4 solid years, and then like a couple, like 6 months of like turbulence. Still haven't heard from him, so yay. We'll see what happens with that. I've completely blocked him on social media and stuff, so he can't really see what I'm doing here, because that was the big reason why we cut it off. He was not happy that I announced my pregnancy on social media. I mean, this is what I do, y'all. Like, I jam with y'all. I talk about my life. Like, this is authentic, like what you see is what you get, you know? So happy to see all of you guys. Thank you for joining. Oh my gosh, we have to catch up. Hi, Ashley. How are you? Oh my goodness. So glad to see all of you. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really excited. There is some CBD yoga stuff coming up. So if you guys are not in Austin, you're in luck because we're gonna do it virtually this time. So there will be no live class. It will be all virtual. And I think it's happening next week. We might have to change the date. I haven't really heard too much from my clothing sponsor, who is usually the people who do the Aviator Nation. They're awesome. But I am in the works of planning all that. I have like someone coming to live with me for the next couple of months she's another yoga teacher and she's amazing. So she'll be with me for a few months until baby G gets here. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. So CBD yoga, coaching, finishing up my 300 hours so that I'm doing my 500. I'll be 500 hours certified by the end of the year. That way I can hopefully start a teacher training program for CBD yoga. Because ideally I'd like to start training people to be able to teach CBD yoga to others and then have it be kind of modeled throughout the world. That was always my big dream. But I gotta get that 500 hours done. So yeah, we've got about 10 more minutes before I've got to wrap things up. But if you guys have any questions, I went over Sacred and Divine Goddesses. So if you're interested in that, there's more information on my link in bio. And you can also sign up. Right now, it's like super cheap. It's like $200 for the whole program, and you kind of get to make it with me and spend 8 weeks with me, one-on-one coaching, and also get to be a guinea pig for my NLP and hypnotherapy. And we talked about my Colorado trip, and I told you guys about my day and all that stuff. It's fun. And I also talked about, I showed you guys the baby stuff, which I'm like, oh, my heart, y'all. It is just so cool to make a human. I literally was so afraid of being a mom. Not being a mom in the sense of like having kids, but like childbirth and pregnancy. Like that shit freaked me out for so long. Like probably until the beginning of the year, at the end of January, before I went to my meditation retreat, which was a retreat that it's called Vipassana. It's like a 10-day silent meditation retreat where you don't talk to anybody and you basically like become a monk for 10 days. It's like the whole thing. You take a vow of noble silence. But I had like my spirit baby came to visit me when I was there. I don't think it was this guy. I think it was a little girl. So we'll see what the future holds as far as that. If you guys like don't know what I'm talking about and that sounds kind of woo, there's this book called Spiritual Babies or Spirit Babies. It's really awesome. It talks a lot about how spirit babies come to us or they're already attached to us. Like we have like a karmic tie to them. And oftentimes when we're clear enough and able to listen, like they'll come and visit us and talk. And I personally have been visited by my spirit baby. Now that baby G, I almost dropped the name, it's so hard to keep a secret. Now that baby G is in my belly, he has been very active, and I get to talk to him all the time, and I sing to him and all the things. But I highly recommend it if you are on the verge of deciding to have kids, or if you're on the verge of deciding not to have kids ever. Like, I highly recommend reading that book. It gives a lot of insight as to our free will as parents. Like you can have spirit babies attached to your aura, but still decide you don't want to be a parent. parent in this lifetime, and that's totally okay. They'll just come to you in a different lifetime whenever you're ready. But I thought it was really cool because it takes you really deep into the spiritual aspect of becoming a parent. That was a lot. I'm really out of breath. I kind of want to go. So I'm gonna shut this off. It's been a really wonderful time sharing with you guys and getting to connect and tell you a little bit more about what's going on. If you have any questions, feel free to ask via DM. I will be here again next Friday at 1 p.m. Again, it's on YouTube. If you want to watch the recording, you won't be able to see anybody like commenting and stuff, but I have the video on YouTube so that you can watch it. And then if you want to join the Sacred and Divine Goddess program, go ahead and go to the link in my bio. Super cheap right now. It's like $200. And then once the program is developed, it'll jump up to $500. And then that'll be like the cheapest that it'll ever be ever again. So I just want you guys to be aware of that as I am creating that with the techniques and stuff that I'm learning right now. So I'm going to go. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend and your Friday. It's a beautiful day here in Austin. The weather is amazing. So I want to close this space wherever you're tuning in from, whether you're watching this as a recording or you're here with me now. Let's go ahead and sit up nice and tall. Pull that tailbone down between the legs and stack each of the vertebrae in your spine on top of the other. Sitting up nice and tall, bring the shoulder blades together, allowing them to fall down or relax down your back. Connect to your natural breath for just a few minutes. Noticing whether it's fast or slow without changing a thing. Go ahead and exhale all the air out of the lungs. Inhale, full up, inhale. And exhale, side out. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath in. All the way. Exhale. Think about an intention you want to set for the rest of your day, the rest of your weekend. And I'll take one more deep breath in, owning as I exhale. You're welcome to join if you'd like. Fully exhale out all the air first. And then take a big breath in for om. Thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Bye.